Good morning, Bronx Art students. Hopefully you're not up this early watching this video, but when you do get up and it's time to do science work, it is here for your convenience. Today we will be talking about the comparison of the different processes we learned. What type of processes did we learn? We learned about phase changes, we learned about mixtures, we learned about chemical reactions. So let's just dig a little bit deeper into those three. We know the phase change is actually having a substance, just one substance, and it's either changing from a solid to a liquid to a gas, gas to a liquid to a solid. Any type of order is not important, but just knowing that it's definitely one of these states of matter in a phase change. Here we see two ice cubes. They're melting. That is a phase change. During a phase change, there is only one substance. The molecular structure does not change. The molecules move faster or slower depending upon the type of phase the substance is undergoing. So a great example of that would be water, which is H2O. If water is a solid, it's still H2O. If water is a liquid, it is still H2O. And if water is a gas, the molecular structure is still H2O. So when it's a solid, we just know that all of those molecules are tightly compacted together. If it's a liquid, they're a little bit looser. And as a gas, they're completely spread apart. But each of these would still represent a water molecule. So as you can see, the color and the actual size and the layout of the molecules looks exactly the same. It's just that they spread either further apart, or if it's going the opposite way, they start to come closer together. Now let's talk about a mixture. A mixture is different. A mixture does not rearrange the atoms. The atoms or the molecular structure stays exactly the same, but what does happen is they start to just kind of hang out with each other, if you will. So this one here that we're looking at definitely looks like a molecule of water. We have one oxygen with the two hydrogen. Over here we have the blue atoms and we have green. And as you can see, the water is just mixing around it. I believe these are salt. But the water, as you can see, is just mixing around it. The actual molecules, or the actual atoms, I should say, did not change. They did not rearrange. They stayed exactly the same, but they're just kind of hanging out with each other, if you will, and mixing together. That is a mixture. A mixture requires two or more substances. No new substance is created. The molecular structure remains the same. Atoms do not rearrange in a mixture. That is so important for you guys to remember. The atoms stay exactly the same. Here's a good example of a mixture. Nice bowl of cereal, mixing with some strawberries, and we're adding milk to that. All of these still had their own identity, but they're pretty much hanging out with each other in the bowl, as we said. So that would be a mixture. Chemical reaction, your atoms are going to rearrange. Up here you see we have two hydrogen atoms kind of hanging out with each other, and they don't want to be involved with the two atoms that are on the bottom. This side, again, is your reactant. Once they start to go through this chemical process, they rearrange, and as you can see, they attach. The hydrogen atoms attach over here with your chloride, and now they're hanging out and they created a new substance. This gentleman is going to take us through a video and show us an actual chemical reaction. So let's just watch this video.
As you're seeing today, we're going to change the way you look at science with a simple science experiment. It's science time. It's science time. We're talking chemical changes today, and we're going to need some vinegar, baking soda, a balloon, a funnel, and also a bottle. First things first, grab your balloon, stretch it out a little bit, pop it on top of that funnel, and then take 2 hefty scoops of baking soda, shake it in. Perfect. Set that funnel aside. And what we're going to do in a second is we're going to actually attach this to this bottle. We're also going to grab some vinegar. Pour some vinegar into our container. So what we have is vinegar and baking soda. And when we mix these two things together, something happens. So pay close attention. We're going to twist this. Oh, that's awesome. So the balloon is blowing up. Woo! The balloon is blowing up. Oh, that is the best it's ever done for me. We're having a chemical reaction. And inside of this, we have something that feels like air. But it's not just any air, it's actually carbon dioxide. The chemical reaction with the baking soda and vinegar produces carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a gas and therefore rises and fills up the balloon. If I didn't have the balloon attached to this, we wouldn't be able to see what happened because this gas is invisible to our eyes. Try this at home. It's super sciencey and super fun. Plus, you can keep doing it over and over. And afterwards, you got yourself a little balloon.
Now, please don't do that if you think your parents are going to get upset. I don't want anyone to get in trouble, but I really needed you to understand what a chemical reaction was. All right, so now I want you to test your knowledge and see if putting all of this information together will help you with the actual assignment. So now you go back into your Google Classroom and you type on the Google Docs assignment. Let's just go through what it looks like. Please make sure you put your name at the top. Read through this little information about water and how it's a substance. Look at the molecules of salt after dissolving. Make sure you read this little caption here. And then you're going to make a few predictions. One is predict what you think would happen if you let a glass of salt water sit for a long period of time. And please explain. Then you're going to predict what would happen when you add a bit of sugar to the water. On the third part, which of these is a chemical reaction? You're going to highlight which one you think is the chemical reaction and explain why you chose that answer. Be as detailed as you can. And then out of the ones that you did not choose, whichever 3 are left over, you're going to bring one of those down to number 4. Choose any one of the other choices and tell whether it is a phase change or a mixture. Be as detailed as you can. Because remember, you already picked out the chemical reaction. So now you're going to tell me which one is a phase change or a mixture. And then the last part of that assignment is comparison of phase change, mixture, and chemical reaction. I just need you to fill out the chart. So on that chart, there's your process, which is either your phase change, your mixture, or your chemical reaction. You're going to tell me how many substances there are or needed for that particular process. After the process, is the substance the same or different? You can just write same or different in one of these boxes. What happens to the molecules and atoms? Do they rearrange or do they stay the same? That's what you're going to tell us over here. And then just give me an example of it. So you can say, oh, well, you know what? I know a good example of mixture is a pack of M&Ms. So you would just put M&Ms there. Please don't use M&Ms. Because if everyone uses M&Ms, then you guys only did what I used. And that's not showing me that you know exactly what a mixture is. All right, so any questions, please make sure you ask. All assignments are due by Sunday. Good luck. I will see you guys in the Google Meet.